Bruh.
Fart!
Bruh.
Fart!
Bruh.
Fart!
Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is Matt Jarbo, and
Oh my god, dude. Whatever. YouTube. You piece of fucking shit. Can I just say something? On the real, before we try and get started back into whatever this show is going to be. Being a fucking content creator on YouTube is the most it's the most unbelievably fucking ridiculous thing that a human being has been asked to do since Sisyphus was asked to push the goddamn boulder up the endless fucking hill. It's worse than that. Hades himself would not inflict the torture that it is to work for a company that wants you to make it money but simultaneously trips you every time you try and make it money. It's unbelievable. It's truly awe-inspiring sometimes how hard YouTube fights against people who are just trying to make it money. Just trying to fucking stream content that a few hundred people will watch, get a few super chats. We're doing it all the right way. So as you might guess, the last stream had to be stopped because I'm like a little baby and I had to be spanked on the hand by Daddy YouTube. Daddy YouTube no likey when baby play clippy from movie, even when baby have completely contextual fucking reason to use it as commentary. And I think anybody who watched that original fucking start to that stream would agree that I was providing social commentary and using the clip that I showed as a way to illustrate an overall attitude about trans people at a formative time in my life. And to talk about the broader implications of that, both in my life and ultimately in the lives of the poor fucking trans people who were horribly abused by people like me who made jokes at their expense and worse. And YouTube had to stop me. YouTube, that's their best bet, is to just go, whoa, this guy is streaming Ace Ventura. And that's it. That's the layer of fucking support I get as a streamer. And I guarantee it's the same for anybody. Can't show. Or maybe it was George fucking Michael's people. Maybe they didn't like the Crying Game song being played. Whatever it was decided that protecting that's quote-unquote copyright, because I was horribly infringing on it, by the way, by showing a clip that's already on YouTube. I was playing a clip from YouTube and discussing it as we went on. Whatever. I'm just ranting and fucking raving now. I just have to tell you, dude, it gets so fucking old working for a company that fucks you at every possible fucking turn, dude. At every possible juncture, it fights me. at every possible fucking juncture, it fights. Anyway, welcome back to the show. Enough of that. A couple of super chats came in saying YouTube is a dumpster fire. I couldn't agree more, Ricklin. Thank you for the $9.99. Cody Stone says keep the work up, my dudes, or keep up the work, my dude ski. I sure will. Thank you for the $10, Cody. I appreciate that. It's kind of you, man. You guys have no idea how much not just the donations. Like, I don't mean to downplay the donations because they're very much appreciated. But just being around and fucking hanging out while I ramble and talk bullshit about bullshit, you know. It's just, you know, it's cool that you guys are here. So thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting not only this content, but the other stuff that I do. It means a lot, especially at this time, at this juncture. It means quite a bit. I, for one, applaud YouTube for putting an end to your disgusting fair use. Fair use is a fucking dead concept. I just need to give up on it. The truth of the matter is, anytime I play anything that has a copyright attached to it for any length of time, there's a chance that YouTube could just completely and utterly unilaterally do what it just did. In fact, I'm shocked. This stream might go down. I might get flagged. I might get a strike for that. I might have to move back to the poltergeist for a while. Like, you know, if for whatever reason, you know, I disappear, there's a poltergeist channel that's probably linked down below here. Dude, that's what Twitch is for. Dude, Twitch is even worse. You know how fast Twitch would probably ban me if I didn't watch my P's and Q's? Immediately. Like, and my stream was something that's totally in line with YouTube's supposed values and shit. It was not hate speech at all. It was a critique of my fucking era and the way it treated and talked about trans people and how gross that was. And how gross and, you know, I felt for having participated in that for so long in my life. And that was less important than a 2-minute scene of fucking, it wasn't even 2 minutes. It was like 45 seconds or some shit of Ace Ventura. Whatever. Yeah, dude. YouTube finkled our Einhorn, man. A little thanks for your continued self-flagellation. Well, I'm glad that somebody's around to appreciate it. So I appreciate the €5, I believe. Is that euros? Or are those pounds? It's always hard for me to tell, sir. It's always rough for me to tell whether I'm looking at a pound or a euro. But either way, appreciated. Do you and the Kirks have a contingency plan in place if YouTube were to fully censor or remove DFF? So we have been kind of covertly working on a website for a very long time. We've started kind of beta testing it with some of our patrons, but we've got kind of some ideas of how we could get our content out to people who watch us. We've got multiple channels, so the people that watch us aren't going to be completely cut off from us if we lose the DFF channel. If we lose Patreon, there are a number of other sites that have shown at times to be less speech challengey or whatever the fuck that we could move to and try and rebuild that. Or we could try and just set up a subscription service that runs directly through our website and cut out the middleman so that there's nobody censoring us but us. You know, all of it's going to cause a reduction in the amount of money that we're making. All of it's going to cause, if it happens, you know, at least in the temporary, but yeah. Jumping ship is the idea, dude. Like, none of us want to spend the rest of our life beholden to fucking a company like YouTube. It's untenable. It's silly of them to even consider it workable for people. And it's become a fucking corporate hellscape. Like, let's be honest, the shit that doesn't get what was done to me just now done to them are these big channels with pre-polished and pre-packaged and corporate approved, thumbs up, bleached teeth, and I'm just a lowly pleb here, I'm just a normal guy, and normal guys don't get the privileges that fucking... I don't even know who's big on YouTube now. Is that even a thing anymore? YouTube fucking sucks. Less pirates in the ocean, I guess. I guess so. Man, Stefan Molyneux was the last straw. Was it for you? I'm sure you've just completely stopped to protect Stefan. No, dude, YouTube back in the day, you can't explain it to people, though. I don't want to do that conversation again, to be honest with you. To be quite frank, I don't want to do that conversation again, because I've done enough waxing nostalgic about YouTube recently to go through it again. I don't know if it was just with TJ or if we did it as a part of a piece of content. It all blends together, but at some point, yeah, I had a conversation recently about all YouTube and got all nostalgic about it. It just is what it is. Imagine DFF. Yeah, but see, nobody had the idea for a web show like that yet. So it hadn't, blogging was a new thing at the time, and vlogging was a brand new thing. The idea of doing a blog, but it's in video format, that was all like shiny and new. Nobody had thought about let's do a twice weekly web show with a news component and produce it and spend some money. And if they had, they'd have been fucking millionaires overnight on YouTube. I'll tell you that much. If you would have invested, if you could go back to 2006 and invest about $5,000 in video, audio, and computer equipment, you could make $1 million on YouTube. You could have been a millionaire. You could have been YouTube's first big fucking giant hit. You could have established yourself as a timeless part of YouTube history, and probably had a giant show that leapt off of YouTube and became part of a network or something at some point. With that knowledge, you could go back and do it. But just nobody did it. It was like YouTube back in those days was cool kind of because nobody was doing that. There were no corporate interests. There were no people trying to be all slick. It was just normal people, like schlubby, looking like I am now. My stream looks like a piece of shit now. You know what I mean? And I look like a piece of shit sitting here. But back in the day, this would have been high quality stuff, dude. Because it wasn't about that. It was about people just talking. It was about people doing live streams and talking to their fan base. Or before that was an option, it was about making these short form videos where they did exactly what I'm doing now, rambling without the interactive component. And then cutting that up and uploading it, And it was cool for that. It fostered a sense of community with the people that watched you and the people that participated. And here I am, dude. I just got done fucking telling you guys how I'm not going to get sucked into a nostalgia conversation about YouTube, and here I'm doing it. Enough. Suffice it to say, enough. I wanted to run something by you guys, though. Gauge the interest of the 4-something in the morning Highdeology audience. I just finished playing through Jedi Fallen Order, which is like a Dark Souls-like Jedi game. I played it. It's way easier than a Souls-like, at least at the second to hardest difficulty it is. Maybe if I cranked it up. But I just finished. I really loved the game. I had a lot to say about it, and I thought I might try and do some streams either here on Twitch, where I go through New Game Plus, and because here's the thing, it was better than any of the three sequel movies that we got, any of the three recent Star Wars films and the prequels. It was better than both of those. Like, it had better characters, the story was better. It didn't lean on nostalgia. It felt like a Jedi, you know, like it was really cinematic, really well done. One of the better Star Wars games I've ever played. Probably the best game I've played in the Star Wars franchise since Knights of the Old Republic. Not a high bar to jump. No, but it's remarkable. It's better than the movies. I felt better about the characters and the arc of that video game than I did about any of the movies. And if that would have been condensed into movie form, it would have made a way better Star Wars film than any of the movies that we got. And it had nothing to do with Skywalkers, nothing. Well, okay, no spoilers. Nothing to do with the Skywalkers, nothing to do with the Palpatines. There were references to the, you know, stuff that was in the other movies, but it was its own thing. It had its own mythology that it followed, and it introduced its own characters, and it was great. Had a great little fucking droid companion that was not only cutesy wootsy, but totally functional and useful and dripping with personality. Had great companions. You know, it was good. It was just good. It was a good cinematic Star Wars experience that was way better than anything that came out in the movies. So it's just like, why if they can make a game like that, why can't they make a movie that carries that same kind of idea? You do anything you want in the Star Wars universe, and you can still do the fan service shit. There's fan service in the game. There's mentions of Master Yoda. You know, one of the Jedi that you meet talks about having been trained by Master Yoda. Or there's mentions of Count Dooku. There's mentions of people from the different properties. There's mentions of the Clone Wars. You know what I mean? But it's all woven into a story that its own, and it's not just crammed in your face like, here's nostalgia. It's just you're dropped in that world. And it worked. But whatever. Because J.J. Abrams. Good old J.J. Abrams. It was him what done it. They can fly now. They can fly now. Da-na-na-na-na-na. No, it was good. So I was thinking about doing a playthrough. I don't know if I can get away with doing one here on YouTube, so I'll probably have to do it on Twitch. And I don't know how to get you guys to watch it, because I'm not just going to be playing the game. I'm going to be talking about Star Wars while I play the game, because I've already played through the game once, so it's not going to be like let's figure this out. Like, I know how to do all the stuff I need to do. Maybe I'll crank up the difficulty or something so you guys get some salt, but it'll be like a Star Wars type of thing. But it'll mean that, you know, people will have to come watch me on Twitch, because like I said, I'm not going to do a Star Wars property on YouTube. Are you kidding? The music and shit. Saw what happened when I played fucking 40 seconds of a 25-year-old movie. It's actually older than that, isn't it? You post it, we'll watch it. Twitch is my domain. Oh, it's your domain. It's your demins. I will use my lightning hands to destroy this little fleet of ships, raising the question, why didn't I just destroy them 30 years ago? Bum, 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 bum. Oh no, Chewie got blown up. Wait. No, he didn't. Dun, 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 dun. Here comes Lando. Oh, look, he's fat and old, and he won't stop smiling and talking about Chewie. Dun, 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 dun. Bum, bum. Ape escaped. Ape escaped, dude. The holiday special was better. I don't know about that. I don't know if I'd go that fucking far, but come on. Disney is no longer in the creativeness business, only in cranking out old worn franchises and remakes. Disney hasn't had an original idea in decades. It's an IP trust. Well, it's because they can make more money for China, and China doesn't have the same cultural expectations for film that we do. China is happy with explodey. You know what I mean? They don't really care. And so, yeah, you can make a whole lot more money in China, so why would you waste money on creative people? Just get the people together that you need to and crank out endless Star Wars shit and release it. The dumbass fans here will keep lapping it up, and China will keep loving it more and more. The Ewok movies were better than the new trilogy easily. I agree with that. I liked, dude, there's one Ewok movie that gets pooped on, but I think it's great. And it's actually creepy as fuck. I need to go back and watch it. It's the one where, like, the little girl gets kidnapped by the giant, and the Ewoks have to save her from that giant thing that lives on Endor. You guys know what I'm talking about? Am I talking crazy talk? No, that exists. Yeah, the Ewok movies, dude. I want to check that movie out because I remember that movie being kind of badass and scary when I was a kid. Ewok movies. Oh, yeah, dude. Yeah, you can look them up. There were, I think, 2 of them made. There were 2, like, full-length Ewok movies made. One of them is the one that I remember the most. Involves a little girl getting separated from her family on Endor. And the Ewoks find her. And then she's kidnapped by this giant that lives on Endor and taken to this fucking cage. And the Ewoks have to get together along with her brother to save her and get her back from the giant. And it's pretty fucking insane and creepy. Remember, there was the furry. Somebody said that thumbnail is satanic, and it made me laugh. TJ's segments being satanic. Like, there's nothing satanic about them. That there are a lot of things, but satanic is not one of them. Paul, did you ever see a movie just called Hunter Prey? You would enjoy it. I have not. I probably won't remember it either. I'm sorry. I hate to be like one of those guys, but like, Highdeology is never the best venue to try and get me to watch something because if I started jotting down, like, here's what would happen. It's not that I don't want to check that out, but here's what would happen. If I was like, Hunter Prey, oh, okay, hold on. Let me just take that down real quick. Hunter Prey. Then you know what the chat would be for the next fucking 3 hours? It would be, check this out. Paul, what do you think about, if you haven't seen, might I recommend? And it's just like, oh, God, we're in a fucking loop of doom now, dude. The loop, I know how to avoid the loops of doom. Don't even ask me. Don't ask me. Anybody asks about a movie from here on out, like after I count to 20, if you're in the chat and you're still fucking asking about movies, I cannot be responsible for what might happen to you. Don't ask me if I have seen a movie. If you've got a question about a specific movie that you want to ask the question in long form. Don't ask me if I have or haven't seen a movie. I have to be draconian with you guys sometimes, you know. I try and use the velvet glove. I really do. I've only flushed you twice. Only twice have I brought the ultimate fucking shame upon you. You know, I try to wear the velvet glove. I try and rule with the velvet glove and not the iron fist, but there are some times, unfortunately, where you forget yourselves. You forget your place in the order of things, you see. It's very important to me, order. It's a concept that I used to reject. If you can believe it, when I was a child, I was a bit unruly. Would rather not take the advice of my nannies, my teachers, my parents. But as I grew older, as men do, I grew wiser, and as I grew wiser, I grew to understand the importance and utility of order. Order must be maintained. If order is lost, then chaos prevails. If chaos prevails, then all is lost. It's a looping conundrum. A Mobius strip that eats itself, but yet I must participate. I must choose a side, mustn't I? And why would I choose chaos? A well-established order is necessary. And if not me, then who? And if not now, then when? Might is not sometimes right. Might is always right. If you disagree with me, walk up to someone physically more strong and dominant than you and slap them in the face. See what happens to you. Might is right. Might and right don't just rhyme. They are synonyms. But I tell you, heavy is the crown that hangs upon the head. I know that you think I derive some sort of perverse glee. I've heard the whisperings in the tavern. I've heard the whisperings about Paul being on a quote-unquote power trip, and let me tell you something. Nothing could be further from the truth. Heavy hangs the beanie of authority. Every time I see one of you disappear from the chat, a tear would roll down my cheek. Would that I could afford to show my true feelings to the populace and not be thought of as strong. Heavy is the head that weareth the beanie, but someone must wear it, and if not me, who? And if not now, when? Is violence ever the answer? Violence is regrettable. I have no further comment on the subject. Character. What do you mean, character? There's no character here. What you've known as Paul has been the character. The mask has been dropped for the briefest of moments. And the truth shall be revealed. I will answer any question completely honestly, but it must be fully formed and properly grammatical. And if it's not, I will disregard it. And if it's really bad or really stupid, you'll be banned. Take advantage of this, those of you that watch me. The mask is dropped. The true man laid bare. I am disappointed so far in the lack of questions. It would seem that you take my appearance fanciful, or think this kayfabe or a ruse. Silly of you. Silly of you to squander this chance. Do you believe that our technological advances over the last 75 years are really just reverse engineered alien technology? Did you really just bring that to my plate? You have the chance to ask me about anything, and you're fretting over whether or not your iPhone is an alien technology. It won't do. It won't do. Marks for bad form. Marks for bad questioning. The movie Soaked in Bleach came to the conclusion that Courtney killed Kurt. Do you agree with this conclusion, Paul's ego? Yes. Do you keep your testicles clean shaven or trimmed? No, I do not. I do not. I am blessed with sparse pubes. Were there a giant and swampy forest in my nethers, surely I would trim. But as it stands, the hairs there are soft, wispy. LARPing. Shin Kong, you should be banned outright for your lack of profile pic alone. But your insinuation that I would ever LARP is enough for me to roll your head down the steps of mine temple. The sparsest of pubes. Yeah. I don't know, dude. I'm just not like super hairy anywhere. Anybody that's seen the multiple pictures of me without my shirt on sees the deal. Like there are dudes that are like they have lots of body hair and shit. I'm not one of those guys. Shaving my chest would just be like getting all kinds of chest acne for no reason, getting all kinds of razor bumps and shit on my chest for no reason, because like my chest hair, in addition to being real sparse, is like super soft. Like it's way softer than like my beard or even my head hair is. It's just like wispy, like that's just like, what's the point? You know what I mean? Like if my girlfriend was like, baby, it would be really hot for me if you shaved your chest or whatever, I'd do it. Or like if you shaved your balls, like that would be cool, I'd do it. But it's just like, doesn't seem to be an issue. You know what I mean? So I don't. Convenient. Yeah, I guess I lucked out. I tell you what, dude, if I won the lotto in genetics, it was the hair lotto. Like I got sparse body hair. I don't have to deal with tons of fucking pubes, which is also great because I, don't have much wiener. So if I had like a forest of pubes, it would make my wiener look even smaller than it is. What are you building in there? I have a right to know. It concerns all of us what he's building in there. What's he building in there? What do you think about Elon Musk's kid's name? I don't care, bro. That's what I think about it. Would you trade less fat for more body hair? No. I can deal with like I can change the fat thing. Like I can be thinner, like with hard work, but you can't like hard work away like being a gorilla like dude, like George the Animal Steel or something. Like one of those dudes that just has like a pelt, you know what I mean? There are dudes that are like that. They have like a hair shirt underneath. Mendacious C, relax, Paul. I'm here, depressed and fed up, but here. Mendacious C, dude, it's so sad for me because you're always such a force of constant positivity with your relax, and to hear the anxiety in your message, I gotta tell you, Mendacious, I'm sorry to hear that, dude. Just goes to show you how things are going to shit when Mendacious C is coming in here saying you're depressed and fed up. It's like, fuck, dude. Mendacious C is the dude that always does a cartwheel when he shows up. You feel me? He's the guy that always like shows up, does jazz hands, does a big ass cartwheel, and tells everybody chill the fuck out, dude. It's Mendacious. But now he's depressed. And that tells you, dude, that's like a barometer. We're fucked. Like if Mendacious C is coming in, like he hasn't given up completely, but dude, the trend ain't good, dude. If Mendacious C comes up in this bitch and is like, hey guys, relax, I'm here, I'm fucked up and I feel like the world is fucking horrible and I'm fed the fuck up and tired and depressed, but I'm here, bro. It's like, so what do I do? Should I just admit myself to a psych ward now, or can I wait until the morning? What are you talking about? Like, if you need to go to a psych ward, just go. But I don't know if, I don't know if that protects you or whatever. Sorry if I talked about it earlier. What do you think of Trump extending the extra unemployment and eviction protection via executive order? Seems like a dangerous expansion of power to me. Trump extending the extra unemployment and eviction protection via... I mean, yeah, of course, like, if you look at it, yes, it's an expansion of power of the executive, which is a bad thing, but it's also a trend. It's a trend that really started with Bill Clinton and was continued massively by George W. Bush And it has been continued by every president since. Obama continued it, and now Trump. The executive has become way less like what it was envisioned in the Constitution as an administrator, a diplomat, a head of state, you know, and it's become way more like a king or like a ruler, like an elected, like, I speak for you. I make the policy of this country, you know. I mean, but we all cheer it on, you know. Everybody cheers it on when it's their guy doing it. Like when Obama was doing it, everybody was like, that's right. It's time that somebody stood up there and took charge that's a liberal, you know. And we all just, like, the people like me that were in the know were like, but what happens when the next guy's not a liberal? And then here comes Trump and everybody's acting all shocked. I can't believe what he done did. And it's just like, really? You didn't see this coming when Obama was trampling all over the Constitution and making executive orders and fucking, you know what I mean? Like warrantlessly spying on people and drone striking people with no fucking declaration of war and shit. Like, you didn't have a problem with it then, though. But now that Trump's doing the shit, you're just like, oh no. Oh shit, no, man. It's happening. It's like it's been fucking happening. Sorry to tell you. Dude, there were old ass fucking geezer, stonery, hipster, hippie dudes back when I was a kid. And I shit you not, guys. Back when I was a kid, like 8, 9 years old, that would tell stories about how fucked up, how the world was fucked up and how corporations were fucked up and how politicians were all fucking in somebody's pocket and how it's all just a show and it's all bullshit. And I remember even as a kid, I used to go like, you know, like whatever. And it's just like, wait a minute. They were right, and the ones that came before them were right. You know, it's just like, no, there's nothing new. It's not like we just came. Like a lot of people are acting. Here's one thing that bothers me. As I'm watching the apocalypse, can I just have some? Maybe I'll create a new segment. We'll call it "Gripes About the Apocalypse." And I'll just like catalog my gripes about the apocalypse as it stands right now. Can I just tell you what really grinds my gears about the apocalypse as I see it happening? Here's one of the number one things about the apocalypse that really grinds my gears. There's a lot of people treating it like it came out of nowhere. And those people make me want to pull my fucking hair out because a lot of them are older than me. It's like, you thought the land of milk and honey, of endless, bottomless debt forever was going to last forever? You thought the endless fucking ignoring of epidemiologists and scientists and climate scientists was going to last forever? And pretending like, well, everybody else should recycle, but it's cool that I don't. Like, you didn't think that had an aggregate fucking... You don't think that attitude allowed things to happen in this country? It's like, there are people that are like coming around to the fact that like, I've noticed it. Like, you guys don't understand. I get a lot of messages, right? I get Twitter DMs all fucking day long. I get comments on videos that people don't think I read that I do. Whether it's on like DFF videos, patron videos here. You know how many times I've heard the same fucking narrative from people in the last 3 months? Let me tell you what the narrative is. Here's a narrative. Paul, I love you, man. I just want to start by saying I love you. And that's fine. I'm not trying to shit on it, but they usually do start like that. People usually, like, because I'm such a fucking reactionary, people typically have to suck my dick first. They either they do it meaningfully and they mean it, or they do it because they think my ego can't handle being directly confronted. But then it starts like, I've always disagreed with you on one thing, man. And it's this pessimism thing. And I read on and I say, okay, well, duh. I mean, that's, you know, when you're me, that's a foregone fucking conclusion for me, just to let you guys know en masse. My pessimism makes problems for people. I get it. It makes problems for me too. And my philosophy is heavily pessimistic, and it makes problems for people, and it makes problems for me too. I suffer right along with the people that listen to me and take me the least bit seriously. So trust me. I practice what I preach. So anyway, the people will go on and say, but here's how it's changed. But man, with all the shit going down, I've come to realize that you're probably right, man. And I just don't know what to do. And it's like, that's good. That's cool, man. I mean, like, what do you say? Like, what do you say? I'm the prototype doomer. I mean, whatever, dude. Sort me with your fucking little fucking... Like, all you people that were raised up with Harry Potter are obsessed with this sorting hat concept where everybody in society has to be sorted into a meme category or whatever. Go ahead and do it. Like, I'm a doomer, whatever. Okay. Fair enough. And then what? You know what I mean? All right. The sorting hat has put me in House Doomer. Now what are you going to do with me, you little motherfucker that was weaned on fucking labels and Harry Potter, and you let that fucking rule your life as an adult, presumably, or at least approaching an adult if you're in this fucking chat. Ugh. Get out of here with your doomers and your boomers and your this and your that. And fucking, quite frankly, get out of here with your fucking leftist and your Marxist and your, I'm a socialist Democrat. Oh, I'm a fucking justice Democrat. I just don't want it anymore. If you've got a label, I don't want to fucking hear it, especially if it's a political label. If it's a social label or something, I'm happy to fucking call you by your pronouns and address you as you ask me to. And anybody that has found me recently doing that and called me out on it, I've always apologized and shit. Doing my best on that. But when it comes to political labels and shit, you can kiss my fucking ass and get the fuck out of here, dude. I don't care if you're a Republican. I don't care if you're playing the game anymore. I don't care if you're a fucking Marxist. Not unless you're leading some fucking Marxist revolutionary group that you're asking me if I can join or some shit. If you're one of those people, hit me up. You know what I mean? And don't hit me up, by the way. That's just a joke. I just want to make sure that fucking people that think that they can have a one-man Marxist Leninist revolutionary group don't hit me up en masse. You know what I mean? Yeah, and don't literally hit me. Hit me up is a turn of phrase. It means like, I was about to say get at me, but I don't want that to happen to me either. It means to contact me in a personal way. What's this with the hitting? What is this with the hitting? Why is one man hit? What I don't understand is why is one man hitting another man? Grandpa, he's not hitting anybody. He said, hit me up. Hit me up where? Hit me up to what? Hit me where? Where's he hitting me? No, Grandpa, he's not hitting anyone. Well, why did he say it then? I heard him very clearly. I know that I'm old, but I still have my hearing. It's a mitzvah. I still have my hearing at my age, but I do. I heard what the man said. Grandpa. Hitting up is like when kids say that, it means to like send like a DM on Snapchat or whatever. A D on what? A who on what? A who on what? A Snapchat who? No, it's like getting a telephone call, Grandpa. You know that conversation has basically happened like 1,000,000 times on the globe, right? At least in various forms. So are you irritated that people are just now coming to the conclusion that you were correct about your pessimism? I talked about this once. I don't remember. It was on in one of my early videos, pre-DP. I don't remember which one, but I said, you know, one of the people that I think I loathe the most are the people who are willfully ignorant at this point in history of what's going on, and are pretending that everything's okay, and still buying into the fucking modern day electoral prosperity gospel that this party or that party is going to rain money on you because you need it, you know. I was lamenting that like those people, when the time comes, are going to pretend like they knew it all along. And I'm starting to see the metamorphosis into that because people are acting shocked right now. And what comes after that is people going like, oh, I've got to pretend I knew this all along, who have never been on the record talking about a collapse, never been on the record about talking about the eventuality of a human collapse or a civilizational collapse or a massive civilizational shift like I have been. You know what I mean? And it's like there's going to be 1,000,000 fucking charlatans talking just like me. And if you look into them, their fucking past is going to be filled with all of this fucking evangelistic left-right bullshit. And there's going to be all different stripes of people just like me. They're probably already starting to crop up, dude. And it's just like, these people weren't there before. They were out fighting against me. They were finding people like me and telling me how wrong I was. And I'm not sitting here telling you I knew everything. Like, I'm not on the record calling COVID or saying it's going to be a big fucking sweeping plague or it's going to be this or that. You know, I'm not Nostradamus or anything, but I have been talking for over 10 years on the internet about a looming collapse, a societal collapse. I saw it coming 10 years ago, at least, probably longer than that. I've just been doing it on YouTube for 10 years or more. And, well, it's 2020. I've been doing it on YouTube for 13 years. 14 years. If you go all the way back. So, you know what I mean? This is not a new concept. It's not a new concept. And this whole fucking hopeful, like, I'm riding with Biden and we can stop it and we can reduce harm and shit. And I understand it, dude. And I don't want to be one of those dudes that's like, poo-poo. Because I know people need hope and shit right now, but you're not going to fix it with Joe Biden. Joe Biden is an agent of the apocalypse. He's one of the horsemen. Look at him. Find that picture of him where he's like, I don't mean that literally. I'm not, you know, I haven't gone insane. I don't believe in the horsemen of the apocalypse. It's a metaphor. It's a metaphor. But he's a part of the problem. He's a corporatist. He's a corporate shill. He's an agent of the Democratic National Committee, which has scuttled Bernie Sanders twice now in favor of one of their bought and paid for corporate candidates. And that's just recent political history. And people want to tell me, go out and vote. And it's like, what's a guy like me supposed to do? So I was, one of the claims that I deal with a lot when it comes to this voting shit is like, this is an emotional argument, Paul Zigo. And I acquiesce that parts of it are. Like, parts of it can't be defended any other way. I have a problem with my name being signed underneath somebody and thus complicit with somebody who I think is going to rape the world. And whether they're going to thrust 100 times like Joe Biden or 1,000 times like Donald Trump doesn't really matter to me as I'm holding the pen and being asked to endorse one of them. That is an emotional reaction on my part because my vote doesn't matter, which is another reason I don't vote. So it's like the argument against that proves my point. It's like me signing my name to it implies that the vote has power that it doesn't. So it's a really genuinely emotional feeling to actually look at it that way, because the vote really is powerless and it's utterly, completely and utterly pointless that you've put your name there underneath a person that's going to rape the indigenous world, rape the third world, continue the policies that are dumping tons of petrochemicals into the ocean, allow the policies of overfishing to continue, allow the policies of deforestation to continue abroad, to continue exporting American misery abroad so that we can pretend everything's okay here. Derek Jensen has a great bit about this. He says he heard from an environmentalist, you're always harping about the trees. And Derek said, well, yeah. The guy says, well, I just think you're being very pessimistic because in Maine, there are more trees. When I was a kid, it was a problem. They were cutting down all the trees and there are more trees. And Derek Jensen said, that's because you started getting all of your paper from fucking South America. We exported the suffering. We realized, we're denuding our own landscape. Let's go take over South America and Canada and start logging those places to shit. So yeah, Maine has more trees. Maine has more trees because we've stolen about half of the fucking Amazon rainforest since Derek Jensen gave this talk, by the way. Since Derek Jensen gave the Endgame talk, which I believe happened in 2005 or 6, it might be a little older than that. It might be a little younger. It might be 7 or 8. Roughly half the Amazon rainforest has completely disappeared. Who was right? Who's wrong? They aren't interested in that. It's outside of their profit motivation. I mean, yeah. A shot into the blue, yeah. The USA is responsible for the Amazon disappearing? Abso-fucking-lutely. Why do you think the Amazon is disappearing? Do you think that people are like going to sleep in a beautiful lush jungle and they're waking up and the trees are just gone? Do you think the aliens are fucking coming at night and harvesting them or something? No. The Amazon is disappearing because it's being burned to make room for farmland, and it's being logged out of existence. Does that answer your question? And you know what the benefit here in America is going to be, by the way, to that? Not only paper, so we don't have to cut down all the beautiful trees in Maine. Cheap Brazilian produce. Oh my God. Don't you guys love those grapes? Take a look where they're from next time. Chances are they're from Panama, they're from Brazil. Enjoy those low prices and those sweet, plump Monsanto seeded grapes grown on a patch of what used to be rainforest. Isn't it delicious? I wonder if anti-maskers considered what's going to happen when the rest of us come out of our homes and they still have this stuff over their social media feeds in Minecraft. What? And they still have this. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, Ricklin. If I knew the answer to that, I'd let you know. Thoughts on space exploration from corporations? You think it's better to come from them than not at all? Yes, but only presuming that, here's the thing. Let me give you a reason why I think I'm misunderstood a lot, both politically and otherwise. I am a far futurist. So if I'm going to answer that question honestly, do I think it's better that a corporation does it than nobody at all? My answer is, you heard me, it was immediately yes. I didn't have to think about the moral implications, because here's the reason. In a far future perspective, expansion to one planet begets expansion to another, begets expansion to another. And what you're talking about is the stratification. And I believe that humanity would stratify enough to understand that things, now that there is the power to hop to these different planets, that there are better things than exploiting these worlds, and there are better things than living under a totalitarian corporatist boot heel, and rise up against it and seize it and become an actual spacefaring civilization that finds and preserves it, a la fucking Star Trek, dude. I can see that path. Okay, it's a probable path if you think about the possibilities of a far future. So yes, I advocate for it. Roll the dice, because not rolling the dice means we burn out here on this planet, and sooner rather than later, by the way. This next one is going to be a fucking doozy, and the order that's established afterwards, let me just tell you guys, it is not going to be comfy. It's not going to be comfortable. It may lead to some positivity if the right fucking leaders are positioned in the right places and have the right kind of support, and there's the right kind of outcry when this happens. If people don't start blaming one another and they blame the actual villain here, which is capitalism, that is ultimately the villain. The system of capitalism is the villain. The players in the fucking tragic play of how did civilization collapse are politicians and corporate CEOs who have slowly but surely, over the course of about 4 or 5 generations in this country, bought the entire country out from underneath everybody, along with our rights. And we've reached a point where we're no longer living in a place that is even remotely like what's described in the Constitution. Not that I'm a strict constitutionalist. I'm fine with wadding that up. But if the Constitution was rewritten now, what would it say? You have no right to privacy. You have no right to not be intruded upon at every moment with corporate nonsense. You are a slave to a system that will grind you into dust, and you must find your place on that ladder. You know what I mean? I don't want that. I don't want any more of that. And Joe Biden is more of that. I don't care if he's going to be a little kinder to queer people. And I'm sorry to gay people. I'm sorry to lesbian people. I'm sorry to bi people and trans people and everybody else that falls under that rainbow umbrella. Like, I don't care that he's going to be slightly nicer to you than Trump is, because he's going to continue to fist fuck the rest of the world. And the more the world gets fist fucked, the less chance there is that it's going to sustain us and your children and your children's children, certainly. That's what I care about right now. I'm done being wedged by social issues. If you want to ask me where I stand on trans issues, you'll love what I say. I think trans people should be taken care of. I think there should be facilities that help take care of trans people. They should be mental health facilities specifically dedicated and specializing in trans people. I think the surgery should be absolutely free. And I think it should be of the free will of, anyone that decides they want to reassign their gender to do so once they're an adult. I think it should be done. I support trans people. I support the fact that trans women are women and trans men are men. I will not dither. I will not call them by the gender that they were born. Just because they had ovaries when they were born doesn't mean that I'm going to assume that they do. All of that shit, right, is the right type of stuff that you'd like to hear, right? Those are all my genuine, heartfelt fucking feelings. But when it comes to the way things are going, I don't think Donald Trump is going to round up all trans people or gay people and put them in a camp or some shit. And if that happens, fucking point your finger at me and scorn me. But the fact that he's going to be a little bit nicer, that Biden's going to pay you a little bit more lip service than Donald Trump does, it doesn't register on my fucking radar right now. The woods are on fire. Literally and figuratively, the woods are burning. The skies have turned blood red. The moon has turned an ominous crimson. The seas have begun to boil and spit out the fish. The Leviathan stirs. The earth beneath our feet quakes. The storms become ever angrier and larger. And you want me to sit back and go like, well, Joe Biden's going to hold the LGBTQ flag, and he's going to pass legislation that makes it slightly kind of more illegal to discriminate against trans people. So harm reduction vote. How familiar are you with the Warhammer future? It seems much more likely for humanity than Star Trek. We become space-traveling xenophobes. Hold on one second. Who constantly fight and strip planets for resources. So, yeah, I'm not super-duper aware of it, but I have a tertiary awareness of the Warhammer 30K, setting or whatever the fuck. And so I know that humanity itself now has split into a numerous subgroups that fight one another. But there is a strong undercurrent of if it's not human, it must be squashed. If it's theirs, it must be ours. And there's religious reasons for it, and there's more corporate reasons for it, and there's different justifications for it amongst the different kind of tribes and subsets of humanity, but it's all basically centered around the same idea. So yeah, Paul's an optimist. I'm an optimist, huh? Oh yeah, you think so? No, dude, I'm not. Because look, unless you live in California or Washington or wherever else in the United States there's currently a giant wildfire burning, The words aren't actually burning, and that's the problem. People don't listen. Not just to me. I'm not claiming the entire world should tune into me or whatever the fuck. But I'm not the only one that's been saying this, dude. This was drilled into my head when I was a kid by every fucking scientist that studied this shit, was going like, danger, danger. And that's just one angle of this. The social angle of this, dude. There have been comedians talking about how polarized things are getting, and you listen to them, and then you realize that they said that shit in 1970. Richard Pryor was talking about how bullshit the political divide was, you know, how he decided he went one way because it seemed to be the way that was kind to black people, and then that was fucking this, and then he was done with politics. You know what I mean? And that's, you know, in the 70s and 80s, he was saying that shit. And it's like, oh, what's your relationship with nature? I don't really have much of one, man. And it kind of sucks. Let me tell you what the closest thing I can tell you that I have that involves a relationship with nature. When I'm near the sea, I instantly feel better. And I have a kinship with the ocean. I love being in the ocean. I love feeling the sand under my toes, and I love being out in the water, letting the waves kind of hit me and stuff. So yeah, there you go. When I'm near water, I'm typically happier. The sea calls to me, matey. Da dun da dun da dun da dun da 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 dun da 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 dun da dun da dun da da na 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 da da dun da 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 dun da 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 da. Little powder monkey Jim, handing up the powder from the magazines below. Oh, and he was struck by a ball that laid him so low. Heave ho. It's actually taken from a Civil War song that I learned when I was a kid. Little powder monkey Jim, handing up the powder from the magazine below, when he got struck by a ball that laid him so low. Heave ho, on they go, heave me lads, heave ho. Let's get a boat and sail into international waters like L. Ron Hubbard. Okay, well, fair enough, we can do that. If that's what you want to do, we can do that. Dun, 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 dun. Hurrah, hurrah. Hurrah, hurrah. Dun, 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 dun. Old pessimist beard, the pirate. I will tell you this. When I was a kid, a lot of you probably heard this story, so I won't tell the whole thing, but I was in a program called GATE. I was in the 4th grade, and we got to go on a field trip, but it was like a real field trip. It wasn't just some bullshit where you went to the grocery store and the grocery manager walked you around and showed you how a grocery store works so you could grow up to be a grocery clerk. I got to go to San Francisco and live on a boat for 2 weeks. It was a boat named the Balclutha. If you look it up, you can find pictures of it. As far as I know, it's still sitting in San Francisco Harbor. It's one of the older boats, I think, in America. and we had to sleep on the boat and swab the deck and live like a crew on the boat. And we all drew lottery. And my lottery was I was the wheelman. So I had to stay up all fucking night while everybody else got to sleep and freeze my balls off alone and listen to the ocean. And let me tell you, dude, that there were nights where it was stormy and shit, and I just had to hunker up. You know, nights when a little squall would come through, a little rain would blow in, and I'd just have to fucking hunker up, throw my poncho over, and sit at the wheel, man. And guess what? I was fine. I don't get seasick. It doesn't happen to me. I have sea legs like you wouldn't fucking believe, dude. I'll tell you another story. So, you know how like when, okay, so those of you that are from blended families or whatever they're called, are they called blended families anymore? That's what they used to call them back when I was a kid. Like, what are they calling like families where mom and dad have divorced and then now there's a stepmom and stepdad and all that shit? And there's step brothers and step sisters from both sides. Like, what do they call that now? Is it still called a blended family? Or is that like old lingo? Broken home? Yeah. I mean, that's really what it's called. Normal? Yeah, that's kind of sad. They just call it normal now. I think you're actually right. I think you're right. They've just dropped the pretense. You know, blended family was the last one that they did. But well, dude, we spent too much time talking about the goddamn blended family. Now I don't remember what I was talking about. Now I have no fucking clue what I was talking about, dude. All I can think about is the term blended family. My brain moved on in mid fucking rant. The boat. What about the boat? Oh yeah, sea legs. Oh, okay, got it. Yeah, I bet. Thank you. I'm back on track. So anyway, I had a stepdad, and what happens with stepdads is, what? Hold on one second. I think I know what the problem is. That should help. All right. So anyway, I came from a blended family, right? I had a stepdad. And he wanted to bond with me, right? And so he liked fishing, and his idea was his idea was like, I want to take him fishing. Like, I'll take him deep sea fishing. So he bought like some spots on a charter boat. He's taking a bunch of tourists out of the Bay Area, out into the deep ocean to do some deep sea fishing. And so it was like, 2-hour boat ride out to the spot where you fish and then 2 hours back. So it was a long day. And I was chill about it, man. I was stoked about it. And I fished all fucking day. I caught some weird shit. Mostly squid, though. That was the fucked up thing, is like I would get a hit on my line and I'd pull it up and it was a squid. And the first couple of times it happened, I was like, cool. But after the third time, I was like, man, this is some bullshit. But I did catch a big old sea bass. I saw a dude that caught a big grouper, like a big deep sea looking motherfucker. It was kind of cool. Anyway, I had fun, but the moral of the story is my stepdad, like, he spent most of the time in the little cabin on the inside where people could go sit laying down with his jacket pulled over him, sick as a fucking dog, dude. Like, sick as a fucking dog. Like, he was sick the whole time. So I'm telling you, dude, whatever genetic markers there are for like sea travel and shit, if there are any, or people having sea legs or like being able to function, because I could live on a fucking boat. I'll tell you that right now. Like, if it came down to it and like to make my money or whatever, I had to live on a boat, there'd be nothing in the way of that for me. I could be just fine. I slept like a fucking log on a boat. I sat and fished all day and felt just fine when I got off. And my stepdad looked like Quasimodo, dude. He was all pale and stringy and puked his guts out until there was nothing left all day, you know, because he was out in the deep sea. It's like his option was lay there in the fucking, you know, lay there in the lobby and just dry heave all day, or like have them call a helicopter for him. And he was trying to be like, this is my dad introduction. So he didn't want them to do the helicopter, you know, or the Coast Guard, I guess, at the very least would have had to come get him or some shit, right? You know what I mean? What I'm saying is, like, the whole point of the whole diversion of all of that bullshit, I know you guys are probably asking yourself, like, what's the fucking point, bro? Let me tell you. Here's the point. I could have been a pirate captain. That's all I'm saying. That's all I have to say. I could have been a badass fucking pirate captain, dude. In a different life, in a different timeline, maybe I am. Maybe I am, dude. You can't say I ain't. And I bet I bet Pirate Paul is the best timeline of Paul. Because I'm telling you, I like giving orders. I like having limited responsibility, but major responsibility, if you get my drift. Like this channel, for example, like the Spectres run it. So I have limited responsibility while I'm using it. But ultimately, I'm responsible for the Spectres. So when shit happens, I have to deal with it. See what I mean? Pirate Paul, dude. I'm telling you. That's the timeline. That's best timeline, Paul. I run a tight crew, yeah. I do. An unconventional pirate crew. Group of madmen and women. Yes, all of them crazy in different ways. But all of them ready to serve. That's the most important thing on my ship. A lot of stories have been told about Zico, they say. Most feared pirate on the seven seas. They say cruel taskmaster. They say monster. Well, let me look ye in the eye right now, boys, and tell ye I'm no monster. I'm just a man who appreciates order. So when you're on my ship, things'll be ship shape. You hear? There'll be no spilling the grog on the poop deck. There'll be no heaving your guts up and then leaving it for the seagulls to peck at till I find it the next morning here. I'd rather throw you overboard and be one man down in the deep, briny, deep, dark ocean than abide you one day longer. You'll clean, you'll break your back for me, boys, but at the end will be plunder. That's the promise I make ye. Not kindness, not sympathy, not an ear for you to weep to ye if you've got problems with a winch. Nay, I promise ye none of that. If that's what ye want, I suspect ye should go a port next time we come in and quietly leave in the night. But if what you want, gentlemen, is gold, more gold than you could possibly fill your pockets with, then you're on the right ship, my boys. I'm ready to go. Let's do it. If Liam Neeson was a pirate. Yeah. I don't think it sounded very Liam Neeson-y. I like pirate though, dude. I could have been I'm just telling you, I could have been a good ass pirate. That's all I'm saying. She's built in Roman times, held together with bits of twine, and we're waiting for the day, waiting for the day we get our pay. Ah, yes. An old sea shanty, that. I've heard that one. Oh, that's right. It still echoes in me mind. Believe it or not, last time I heard that song was the night I lost me eye. I was on the ship, part of Seago's crew. I know, look at me like I'm a crazy man. People think he was a myth, but there are a few of us left that served on that blighted ship. And as many of the stories say, it were his hubris what led us to our doom. Well, they were wrong. He were in the right. It were the instruments of evil aligned against us, says I. That's the difference. History's writ by the victors. Someone came along and squashed out Pirate Seago. A healthy and... Damn, dude. Look at me, dude. I'm spinning a yarn about why after I'm dead, my legacy is wrong in pirate universe. How the fuck... Like, what am I even doing, dude? What happened? How did that even happen? What's that even about? I guess that's Highdeology. I don't know. Did you see the Dune trailer will drop this month? I know. I did see that. I'm pretty stoked. The official first Dune trailer drops this month. I am pretty stoked about that. We had some tasty cookies. We did, indeed. And yes, we did. We had some delicious cookies. Delicious, yummy, tasty cookies. You get immersed. The sign of a good actor. Oh, dude, immersion is key. Like when I do that, see, here's the problem. Like I would love to do bits more. Like not like take over the show with bits, but I would love to do those kind of voice actory bits more on DFF. But DFF is just not designed, at least at this point, with that in mind. Because here's what would happen. I'd get like 5 seconds into that pirate speech, right? And then somebody would have something to say or add to it, and then a tangent would happen, and it would just never happen. You know what I mean? Like, there's too many fucking seagulls, and I'm one of them. And if I'm squawking something like that pirate speech, you may as well just forget it on DFF. Like, it's not possible right now. It's like... It's just not, dude. It's just not. It just ain't possible. Like, unless we got to come up with some kind of signal or something. Like, I got to put up the bat signal. But see, here's the thing. Like, there are times where, like, those riffs aren't great, and so somebody's got to pull the plug on it. But the answer isn't to just, like, create an environment where every space is filled with sound and every sentence begins by talking over the end of the last person's fucking sentence to the point where, like, getting into a character like that and doing something like that and actually, like, immersing myself in it so that it's funny and realistic and interesting and topical. It's only possible at certain points in a DFF episode. The new intro that we started doing, which isn't really new. It's what TJ kind of used to do it, like a little quick summary. And right at the beginning of the episode is basically when everybody has agreed to, like, okay, we all shut up and we let him launch into the episode, whoever's running it. But after that, it's a fucking free-for-all, dude. And that's true, Sarah. That's what Highdeology is for. But man, dude, being able to weave in characters here and there, I mean, that's how Tomat was born. You know what I mean? Having a little character here and there would be using my talents towards something that isn't just sitting and talking about something. You know what I mean? Like that would be, I think that'd be something that, you know, that's a criticism of mine, something we can add to the fucking show. Something that I feel I could add to the show. But I think it requires what we're working on and what we're building towards, which is, like I've told you guys before, right? With the show that we are currently banking shows. So while you guys are still getting your customary 2 episodes, let me give you an example. You guys are still getting your customary 2 episodes of DFF a week. We are recording 4 episodes of DFF a week. So every week that goes by, we are putting a week's worth of episodes, and we've been doing this for a while now. So we've got over a month worth of episodes in the bank as it stands that haven't been released. And that number needs to keep rising, because eventually what we want to do is, we're just talking the DFF episodes. We're not even talking like Flash Fried is on top of that. The Grease Traps are all on top of that. So we're filming a lot of shit every week. In addition to the Highdeologies, TJ streams, fucking special shit for the patrons. We're filming 6 days a week right now. It's been pretty rare. Like we've tried to institute 2 days off a week. Like we moved Flash Fried Grease Trap production to multiple days so that we could try and squeeze in 2 days off. And we're trying it this week, but I got a feeling things will come up. You know what I mean? It's just been like, but here's the reason. Y'all gonna get burnt out? No. Here's the reason. Once we have a bunch, think about this. Once we have a bunch of shows in the bank, it unlocks a couple of things. Number one, we don't have to shoot like that anymore. Once we have 3 months, think about it. I want you guys to think about it. Once we have, let's say we have 3 months worth of shows in the bank. That's a long time. That's 90 days worth of shows. Let's say that we have that in the bank. Then guess what we can do? Shoot 2 shows a week like we used to. And it's no big deal. Now our workload has fallen in half all of a sudden. And there's nothing to do. Like, what do we do? Well, of course, we're going to fill it with other fucking content and shit. Like, we're not planning on just sitting around and going back to it. You know, like, it's never going to be a streaming show again. Those, like, we might stream like on election days or important times or different, like, or things like this. Like TJ might join me at any fucking moment. You know what I mean? But the show itself, DFF, is pre-recorded. And there's a second reason for that. Well, there's multiple reasons for the reason that I was talking about. It's not just the ability for us to move to a 2-day work week. It's the ability for us to, and you guys are going to gasp here, take a fucking break. Like a vacation. Like take 2 weeks. And then come back and work extra hard for a few weeks and put those shows back in the bank and then go back to 2 days. It's also an opportunity for us to shoot the show on 2 days and fill the rest of the week with other things. Like, I don't want to tease you guys too fucking much because it's going to be a while before the gears start rolling on it. There's a lot of irons in the fire right now, but I'm feeling very open. So I'm just going to say 3 words and that's it. I'm not going to say anything about them. I'm just going to say 3 words. Cinema for cynics. That's it. Don't ask me about what I just said. This is what I'm saying, dude. A factory, different fucking products, all feeding Pessimist Productions, possibly even people you haven't met yet, coming into the fold, not into the main show, not into the main properties, but as people who are under the banner of Pessimist Productions that do shit that we don't. Music reviewers, fucking video game reviewers, you know, people that don't fit our mold but fit our aesthetic. This is all part, like, there's nothing stupid going on here. But right now, guys, where we're at in that fucking grandiose plan is the crunch time part, where we literally have to put as many shows in the bank as we can possibly put in the bank as quickly as we possibly can. And that's that, dude. Let me give you guys the other end of having a 3-month backlog of pre-recorded shows. Those shows, I don't know if you guys remember, but recently TJ did a call for editors in our fucking, I think he put it on our channel. I know he put it on his channel. We recently met, I think it was a couple of weeks ago. We met and went, each of us was responsible for going through a batch of a huge bunch of entries, only very few of which were bullshit. A lot of working fucking commercial editors, music video editors, people that like have a body of work and portfolio and websites, and photographers and people that do their own shooting and editing, and aspiring filmmakers and aspiring editors and people with actual fucking skill. We poured through that shit and nailed it down. And we're going to be hiring some editors. You guys see where this is going? So you take the show as it is now, and you add, instead of visuals controlled by TJ where he's zooming in manually, and I'm not shitting on TJ, he's doing the best he can running the show and being a fucking personality on it. He's doing better than some people do, let's put it that way. He's freed from that. We send the audio file and what video that we have of ourselves off to an editor, and the editor cleans everything up and puts clean imagery in at the right times, puts relevant video information in, and cuts out like if there's a tangent that goes absolutely nowhere, that just adds nothing but length to the episodes and detracts from a point, the editor cuts it out and mends it up and makes the show better. And the show comes out and it rocks. It's got a new intro. It's integrated with all the rest of our fucking properties and shit. It's funnier, it's faster, it's a tighter fucking property. Like, this is like, what did you guys think we were asking for editors for? You know what I mean? As we stand right now, we're pulling up on a month and a half in the bank. Halfway to 3 months. Halfway to the goal. Halfway to being able to shoot 2 weeks or two videos a week and keep up and never lose that 3 months. Maybe take a little break, come back, put it back, and start heavily changing the show, heavily working on the show. The set, you guys, a lot of you guys are excited for us to use the set, and trust me, dude, we're all fucking stoked for there to be a set, whatever form it ends up taking, whether it's the one that we have here in Louisiana or whether we end up moving the show before then and it takes some other form. Dude, I got to tell you guys, it has been one of the hardest things in my life is to hear people go like, Dank D&D just went away, blah, 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 blah. Dank D&D has been on hiatus because it's the most intricate set that I've ever worked on in my entire life. Like, it is so different than what I'm sitting at right here, or so different than what we sat at TJ's house when we were first doing this show. So different than the DP studio. It's a literal shooting space. Scotty shoots from it now. Like, it's been repurposed because of the social distancing and shit. It's where Scotty shoots. It's completely foamed out attic space that had a beautiful gaming, it still has a beautiful gaming table in it. It has a lighting board with professional controllable fucking stage lighting in it so that I can spotlight each fucking player. It's fucking crazy, guys. It's the craziest shit. I want more than anything to be able to make that fucking show, but it's just not happening right now. It just can't. Like, I can't do an online version of Dank D&D. It would fall apart. It would be shit. It has to be in place. You're stoked, but here's the thing. I don't know when that's going to be possible. In the meantime, we want the show to be the best thing it can be. And right now, uploading the raw recording of us having a fucking Zoom meeting basically is not the best the show can be. We can take that and dress it up and make it more visually and appealing and easier to listen to and tighter and funnier. Things can be added. Irreverent little fucking memes and shit can happen at the right moments, and it can be a different fucking thing. I'm really excited to see you guys have learned and grown from the DP days, plus the experience of working on DFF. Dude, I got to tell you, this is a rather new thing for us. I mean, it's not brand new, but we decided to do this after the pandemic. At first, we all thought that the lockdown would last a few weeks. When we realized that this was going to be something that wasn't going to be solved for a long time, we decided to really fucking look at what we were doing. And we came up with this idea of really pushing ourselves and shooting a lot of content over the course of the week and putting it all out and banking the shit that we don't use right away and building up a fucking huge archive of unreleased stuff so that we can refine it through editing, so that we can release it to the people and get out ahead of the process so that we can continuously do that, but only shoot 2 shows a week. And it was like an epiphany, dude. And it seems simple to a lot of people, but a lot of people that do what we do for a living do it. A lot of huge channels, whether they be like gaming highlight channels, like those dudes, they film hours and hours and hours and hours of gaming footage, and they send that shit off to editors, and editors make like 10, 12 fucking episodes of it out of it, and they release them one at a time every week or some shit, and they've got millions of viewers, and they've got a bank of like 100 of them that are all fucking releasable at any point, and they've got 3 or 4 editors that work for them, you know, and their videos look slick for what they are. So it increases the quality, and it doesn't increase the work on us. It doesn't increase the output of the work on us. It frees us up to add more to other properties like Dank D&D, like Cinema for Cynics, like Highdeology, like TJ's channel. I don't want to reveal too much. I've already revealed maybe a little too much, but I won't go so far as to say that. But let me just say, fans of the Kaiser will not be disappointed. There are plans in the pipeline and very close to fruition, as I understand it, that I think the fans of the Kaiser will enjoy very, very much. All under the banner of Pessimist Productions, by the way. All properties that are available exclusively under our banner, which I love. I also love the idea of adding other people. I'm excited about the future of the company. I really am. And it's a fucked up time. So having a little hopefulness about it, you know what I mean, has helped a lot. And seeing those shows build up week to week to week, they build. It gets bigger, and we get closer and closer to making it a reality. Because the reality of having 3 months worth of work that we could just disappear and you guys wouldn't know it. Well, you would know it because I wouldn't stream and TJ wouldn't tweet and shit, but you get my drift. We could pretend we're working hard, man, but for 3 months we could be, just chilling at the beach or something. I'm not saying that's what we're doing with it, but I'm just letting you know, like, knowing that that's there is like, I gotta tell you, it's such a weight off my shoulders because it opens the doors for us to be creative and add more things. So have you thought about dressing up your background? Oh yeah, for sure. What I have here is very substandard. I've got my little office here crammed. I'm crammed kind of catty corner in a very weird way into what is ultimately is supposed to be a little kid's bedroom. I've got an apartment, and the bedroom that serves as my office and the place where I shoot DFF from now is a tiny little room. So I've thrown some shit up back there. Today I put Kurt up there for the show that we filmed today. Well, I'm saying today, yesterday. But ultimately there's not a whole lot I can do. I don't have the room to make a true corner set or something, but yes, I would really, really like to overall just improve the look of Highdeology. Not how I do it. I still want to do it live and all that. But there are some things I want to add to Highdeology that I think are going to be really, really fun for you guys. And you're just going to add to the experience. Like, I want to put like a really semi-professional voice changer on this rig that I can pedal control so that I can kind of add really cool effects, making my voice bassier or echoey, or making it sound like I'm in different places, or like I'm on an old telephone or on an old TV show, or adding static, or making me sound, you know what I'm saying? I want to add some vocal effects processing to the show. I want to make it look better. I want to get an overlay made for the show. I want to get the chat like with a better fucking font and just make it look prettier. And it just involves me hiring people that are more talented than I am to make it happen. So it's all on my list of shit to do. Ambiance, yeah. I want to get myself access to some real chill sounds that I can play, like some just chill music that I can just play in the background. That I'm not going to get flagged or dinged for. That kind of shit. Guys, give me 1 second. I will be right back. I got to take a leak. Okay. All right. Thank you guys for chilling. Yeah. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah. What's going on? What were we talking about? What was the discussion about tonight? I don't think we're talking about anything. It's getting pretty late for me. It's probably time I should pack things up. How long have I been doing this? Almost 2 hours. We'll do 10 more minutes. We'll do 10 more minutes and make it an even 2 hours, huh? How does that sound? Sounds good to me. So any burning questions that are on your mind, ask them now. Any super chats you want to throw at me, I will entertain in the next 10 minutes. After that, Paul's ego is going to bed. I'm going to take a day off probably and not stream or do anything. I don't want to spoil it much for you guys, but there's something in the pipeline for fans of TJ. I'll just say 4 words: RV trip across America. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. That would be... I'm a fan of TJ's, and let me just tell you, that would be ideal. I would love that. Don't get me all excited, dude. I want the RV trip. Fave Nirvana song. Don't make me do it. I just don't want to do it. How's that? You remember that one? I don't want to have to pick from one of my favorite bands' entire catalog and assign an arbitrary favorite to it. Like, I have some that I listen to more than others, I guess. But I like Negative Creep. I mean, I don't know. I hate doing this, man. I hate music conversations because they always just evolve into bullshit. So can we not? Negative Creep is the first one that comes to my head. So there you go. Mine is Negative Creep. All right, see, I like Penny Royalty too. Do you think Kurt killed himself? No, I do not. What's your favorite guy? That's a rule, isn't it? No, I mean, it's a rule when I say it's a rule. But in general, asking favorites is not like outright banned. It's just heavily discouraged unless it's a really good one. So proud of you guys. Love to see friends succeed. I'm really excited. Hey, same goes your way, Marshall. Thank you for the money, by the way. That was totally unnecessary. You could have just said that, but I appreciate that, man. But yeah, no, same goes your way. I hear there's an album in the wings that you've been working really hard on. So same goes your way, dude. I'm always happy to see friends succeed. So l'chaim to us both, my friend. Of course, Marshall. And on the low, because we don't really talk anywhere else, if there's anything I can do once that's done that you would like me to do, just ask, my friend. Just hit me up on Twitter or whatever the fuck, and if I can do it, I'll make it a possibility for you. There's something in my power that will help you. You just let me know. Scentless Apprentice is also a pretty good song. Yep. I mean, how about this? Find me a bad Nirvana song. Like one that's just like totally bad, totally worthless. I'll wait. Highdeology is one of the only sources of brown around these days. Thank you for putting this out there. Oh, my friend, a fellow follower of Boognish. Well, I'm doing my best. I'm just out here spreading the word and being a total weirdo while doing it. I don't know what I'm doing, man. Like, just to be real for just a second, there's a lot going on. It's not bad. I don't want to worry people, but there's just a lot of shit going on. Just a lot of work, a lot of other shit, a lot of stuff. And it's just a crazy fucking time for me right now. I'm doing okay. Like, I'm handling it okay. I'm handling it way better. The fact that I'm actually engaging in it and handling it is a testament to the fact that I'm better than I was fucking 3 or 4 or 5 months ago. But it's just like, you You know what I mean? It's nothing worrisome. It's nothing bad. I'm not breaking up with my girlfriend. Everything's cool there. It's nothing like that. And I don't mean to be coy about it, but it just is what it is, dude. Just big stuff. Just big shit on the horizon. Big stuff for the show. Big stuff for me personally. Just big stuff. I don't know what to say. And it's just a lot of pressure and a lot of shit and a lot of looming like, and it's like, okay. But I've chosen this life, dude. This easy life that everybody makes fun of and shit. You know, so it's like all stuff that I want ultimately because it's all going to lead to a better show. But it's just I'm doing a lot of hard work right now, and there's a lot of hard work on the horizon for me. There's more, you know, and it's like, that's exciting and like, whew, a little bit crazy at the same time. Sounds a lot like you got a kid on the way. It's nowhere near close to that. Trust me. I would rather be undergoing everything that I'm doing now than have an actual fucking kid on the way. Yeah, I've seen that happen firsthand, and let me tell you, it doesn't look like a happy time in a person's life. Let's just put it that way. It's part of life that I'm absolutely fine with not experiencing. I'm pregnant, yes. I'm currently pregnant. I've got a bun in the oven right now. A little salty biscuit. No, dude, why is everybody going all negative? One of my pets, I told you guys it was nothing negative. I just told you it's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of change and a lot of work and a lot of like, okay. But it's ultimately going to be for the best. You know, even if I fall on my face with some of it, at least I'll have tried, and that'll be that. But I don't really expect to. I think I'm going to be okay. I think I got this. And it's going to be awesome if I do. It's going to be really cool. But it's a long game. It is not a quick, easy, simple thing. It's a long game. What you do is not easy. I feel like working a normal 9 to 5 is easier. You are always having to entertain and be on display. Most people, I'm not always, I mean, like this, what I'm doing here is different, but yeah. Trying to entertain and all that stuff, it gets to you. I've also done the 9 to 5 though. I did that for most of my life. So I can tell you that it's not harder than that. It's not necessarily easier than that. The pressures of those types of life are different. That's all there is. Like, I'm out here with my ass in the wind. There's no company to cover my ass. You know, I own my company. I'm an owner of what I do. So it's like, I'm out here with my ass in the wind making a product and hoping that people continue to like it and trying to change it and reach a wider audience with it and get more people that are like us together. Because I know we're not speaking to all of the like-minded people that we could be. And to take that next step, it means production value. It means consolidation of effort. It means distilling what's great about the show and finding its essence and putting it out there more. It means not throwing away shit that we do, like Highdeology, for example. It means not taking a 2-hour Highdeology like this was and going like, okay, well, we're done with that. and just tucking it away on my channel to be watched by like another 100 or 2 people. It's like about finding the good parts of the Highdeology and folding them into what we do and making them part of a bigger show, making them a little interlude that shows up to break up a show that's multi-topical, or to add a little levity at a time when a show gets really fucking heavy or whatever the fuck. We have the ability to do that. You guys understand? Diversification, but also the use of what we have. Taking TJ's streams, doing the same shit with them. Folding them into the show as a concept when they're topical and useful, and making them part of what's presented and used at different points that are poignant, and at points where there's levity that's needed, or points where a lift is needed, or points where we're talking about what we're talking about, like cataloging what we do and knowing when we talked about what. Like we're starting to have a giant arsenal of shows, both private and public. And it's like, well, how do we take advantage of that? We don't want to repackage it necessarily and just re-release it to you guys. That's already out there. Let's use it. And so we don't have to go like, hey, remember that time that Scotty had that epic rant about limes or whatever the fuck, and then nothing ever happens with it. Somebody's on the fucking case and they find what we're talking about, and it's given to the editor, and the editor goes, a few moments later, or whatever it is, whatever the trope is at the time, a few moments earlier, and it'll be Scotty going, I fucking hate limes. Limes are fucking shit. You know, or whatever, and he does this thing, and then it comes back to the show. Or there's like a thought bubble that comes up out of my head at some point. Like the editor, like here's the type of shit I envision. The editor like freezes me, and I'm like, you guys remember that time I like freaked out at Ben Shapiro? And then everybody goes, oh yeah. And the editor makes that dreamy sound. It's like, you know, like, and he freezes me, and there's a little thought bubble, and it's me up there going, Ben Shapiro's a faggot. Ben Shapiro, take your violin and fucking, and it zooms in on it slowly, and you guys get a little taste of the old memes. You know what I mean? A little taste of the old memes when they're relevant. This sounds horrible. Ha ha ha. There's always one of those, dude. As soon as you see that's one of the truths about life that you only learn until you've put an idea out there. You know what I mean? As soon as you do it, there's like a hater. And I hate that word, but it's like the best word for him. There's like a hater out there that's like, how can I undermine this dude's confidence in his ability to pull this off? Sounds horrible. Ha, 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 ha. Now let me back up. And it's just like, man, all right. Maybe 20 years ago, you'd have got me, bro. But I'm just used to you fucking bottom-feeding scum fucks, dude. I'm used to you naysayers, and I keep defying you every day. I keep making money doing what I do. And you people were like, you don't understand. This show was born in a shitstorm of fucking slugs and worms and undergrowth, just like you, dude. Just like the nasty fucking crawling and squirming things of the earth. It was started with a storm of that. This will never work. Go back to DP. This is fail. Boo. Boo. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. And guess what we did? We didn't listen to a single one of you stupid fucks because you had no idea what you were talking about. And we continued to chase what we wanted to do. And here we are. 2 years and change later, still making the fucking show, still successful, and still with plans to add more shit. It is what it is, dude. You can ban. Did he get banned? Oh, I guess he got banned. Well, you know what, dude? He deserved it, but you could have just left him because there's always one, dude. I hate to fucking crib it from people, but it's so true. There is always a hating piece of shit. There's always a person there to tell you, and it's even, I'm not even talking about on the internet. I'm talking about in real life. There's always a person whose role it is to go, this is terrible. You're going to fail. They're like witches or some shit. They're like warlocks and goblins that appear in our fucking lives, dude. You are destined to fail, no matter how hard you try. What you think is cringy, it sounds horrible and unlistenable. And nothing that you say or do will ever bear fruit. Your dreams and aspirations will turn to ash in your mouth, and I will be there to celebrate every perceived failure. Every crack in your facade will be exploited. I will derive my own self-worth by trying desperately to leech from yours, because really on the inside, I wish I had a tenth of your fucking balls and spark, and if I can steal some of it, you can bet your fucking ass I will, because people like me exist for one reason only: to suck the life force from you and everyone that you know. To be that voice that says you can't. To be that voice that says that you won't. To be that voice that reminds you of when you didn't. I'm there. I'm waiting for all of you, and no matter what form I may take. And if you really think about it, I'm a sad and pathetic little creature. A creature that feeds on the accomplishments and dreams and aspirations of others. Pitiable, really, but nonetheless, here I am, in the muck, in the mire, waiting for you to say something hopeful so that I can dash it to pieces. I mean, it is what it is. I just been around the block, you know what I mean? I've just dealt with these people in real life. I've dealt with them on the internet. They're like vampires, man. They really are. They're attracted to people that have ideas. They're attracted to people that do things on their own, that go their own way. And instead of trying it themselves, they just exist to tear it down. And sometimes they succeed, man. I've seen it happen to people. There are people that flame out under the pressure of it. There are times where I wanted to, honestly. I mean, after the Milo episode, those are some dark days, my friends, on DP. There were a couple of low points for me on DP where it was just like, the fires that this show was, that I do now, was born out of, was a low point for me. It was like, talk about having your ass out in the wind. Oh, we're leaving this successful show. Oh, we're going to create, oh, okay. Well, we should create a new show. Okay. So we're leaving the successful show for a show that doesn't exist. Okay. And they were there. They, them, you know who I'm talking about, them. They were there. at that time too. Oh my God, this is the worst thing you've ever done. This is fucking one of the most epic self-pones I've ever seen. Oh my God. Oh, now they're going to start a new show. Let me just, spoiler alert, it'll fail. Do you think that we listen to those people? Like, looking back over the established history of what's happened. Now, I'm not claiming that we've created the greatest thing in the world, but it's feeding all of us. You think we like lined up all the naysayers and we're just like, they're right, man. They're right. It's like, nope. There's always going to be some hating ass bitch, dude. Just the way it is. They're always there. They're always lurking somewhere in your life to spring out when you try and do something unconventional, because they are like, ultimately, like, let's strip the fucking language out of it. Let's strip the hater away. They're agents of convention. The reason that hating ass bitches exist is because they are agents of convention. They are defenders of the status quo. They like normal things. They like people that are like them, that work normal jobs. They can't appreciate people that go out on their own. They can't appreciate people that have talents that don't include theirs. And so it becomes their job to enforce that convention. They go out into the world. They find streamers. They find YouTubers. They find beauty bloggers. They find independent media figures. You know, we're just talking about the internet variety of this. They find, you know, those types of people, and they go to work on them. Every single personality deals with this, no matter what level they're at. If you talk about what you're doing in a positive way, there's going to be somebody there to laugh at you and tell you you're going to fail. It really is. It's like a cartoon demon. It's like a cartoon demon from like an 80s kids cartoon. It's like the kids are like, you know what we could do? Build a fort. And then there's like this poof sound and a little demon who's like just like a little red devil guy with, you know, the horns and a cute face. And he's like, you're never going to be able to build a fort. You're too weak. You're not strong enough to build a fort. Why don't you just go home and eat lots of chocolate? And some of the kids, you know, some of the kids in this hypothetical cartoon, that, you know, and we've all seen it. Some of the kids in this hypothetical cartoon that's played out a bunch of times, they go, maybe he's right. Maybe we should not build a fort. You guys are right. I don't know anything about a fort, and neither do you. I'm going home, guys. But guess what happens? Those kids go on home, and the rest of the kids that are left build a fucking fort. And then the haters disappear for some reason. It's so weird. It's like we were inundated for about 6 months at the start of Deep Fat Fried with people that were just like, this is horrible. This is not funny. You guys think this is good, but it isn't. Go back to DP. I mean, our entire fucking comment section was that. We shined it on. We had the fucking red lightsaber of doom for a like bar. We shined it on and kept making what we wanted to. We didn't listen to a word of it. And then all of a sudden, it's like they evaporated. It was like the sun coming up. They were like, it was like we resisted them enough to where they were just like, all right. We've tried to get through this one's hide, but we can't get to the blood underneath. Brothers, sisters, we must fly. Another target must be found. Fresh blood must be drunk. Let's go. And it was like, pfft. And all of a sudden we were left with a smaller, I'll admit, but actual audience of people who watch the show to enjoy it. And they're still critical. I mean, there's still people that watch the show, enjoy it, and they're critical of it. But that whole motif of DFF is a failure, DFF will never work. 2 years down the line, man, that comment is aged like fucking milk. But where's the dude that said it? Where's the dude that said it? See, that's the thing about a hater. That is the ultimate fucking thing about a hater, is that they're never accountable for their shit. And they win a lot of the times. There's been a lot of great ideas that didn't happen because of fucking haters. And when they're wrong, they just melt away. Watching something better? You're not, though. Why aren't you with them? Why aren't you with them? Why are you sitting here watching the cringe fest unloading and trying to get my goat? It's because you're the person I'm describing. You're listening to yourself be described here. You're a person who has done nothing and who will do nothing, but be a defender of and a slave to convention. You hate me because I went my own way in life and I'm doing okay. Because better is subjective. Right. He's probably living in a van down by the river. No, dude. Don't put the stain on fucking Matt Foley, dude. Me amo Matt Foley. Soy un motivational. How did he put it? Me amo Matt Foley. Soy un motivational speaker. Que vives en un camión cerca de la Rio. Dude, I miss Chris Farley. He was pretty fucking badass. He's living under the bridge because he's trolling. It is what it is, though, dude. I got enemies, got a lot of enemies, got a lot of people trying to rob me of my energy, trying to take away from a neighbor. You guys thought I was going to say it, but I didn't. I said neighbor. I think I'm going to start doing that, dude. Neighbors used to come and get me when it was time to disagree with the enemy. Pass the Hennessy, it gives me energy. Pack a gat in the small of my back. Where these neighbors at? I kill the whole pack. Talking shit cause I'm down with my set. I'm a vet, smoking on a wet cigarette. Who these neighbors think they are? Wishing on a ghetto star. I represent my tar. Now I start busting and they scatter like water bugs. Cause these west side neighbors is harder thugs. Enslave us, but nothing can save us from sportsman Davis shooting it. See, I can do it, dude. That's a sneaky inward pass. It allows me to do raps that I can't do. Creeping down the back street on D's. I got my Glock cocked cause neighbors want these. No soon as I said it, seems I got sweated by some neighbor with a Tech 9 trying to tech mine. You wanna make noise, make noise. I make a phone call, my neighbors coming like the Gotti boys. Bodies being found on Greenleaf with their fucking heads cut off. Motherfucker, I'm Dre. So listen to the play-by-play, day by day. Rolling in my 4 with 16 switches. And got sounds for the bitches, clocking all the riches, got the hollow points for the snitches, so why don't you just walk on by, cause I'm too hard to lip. And no, this ain't Aerosmith, it's a motherfucking DRE from the CPT on a rhyming spree, a straight G. And I can do it. I didn't violate anybody. I didn't say the word that I wasn't supposed to say. We need to have a rap battle. Ain't gonna happen, my friend. I think that's enough for tonight. I think I've actually reached a point where I don't know what I'm doing anymore. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for hanging out. Hold on, wait. Hold on. I should probably check and make sure I didn't miss any fucking super chats and whatnot. So let me do that real quick. Let me make sure I didn't. I don't think I did, but I don't want to be accused. Okay, I didn't. We good. All right. Thank you guys for chilling. I'll see you guys tomorrow night. Oh, wait. Tomorrow night. Well, maybe. Probably. Possibly. Maybe not, though. I might take the whole day off. I don't know. Whatever.